Right, folks, so call to order the Monday, April 7th, 2025 meeting of the Town of Sykesville Planning Commission. And we've got quite a large agenda tonight, but I'm hoping we'll be able to get through it reasonably expeditiously. So first of all, the approval of the minutes of March 3rd. Assuming everyone's had the chance to look at them, are there any comments or corrections or anything anybody wants to change in that? In which case, then I move that we approve the minutes for March 3rd, 2025. Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Brandon? All in favour?
Aye.
And aye. Moving on to county updates, and Claire is back, and welcome.
Hello, Claire.
Read my way out here.
Okay.
Good to see you all.
You too.
Okay, as always, just very quick updates. I think you all can look forward to the draft annual report. I think by the beginning of May, we'll be sending it to staff. I don't know if at that time Planning Commission reviews it again or not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They don't ratify it.
Okay.
We might. I'll have to double check that.
And then just on the master plan, we wrapped up a series of just open house meetings in each commissioner district. We'll be reporting, I guess, just how those went, and then comments that we received from the public. I think this month at our Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. And then we're starting a series of work groups. Those will be throughout the summer, starting the beginning of May into August. It'll be about every other week with a little bit of a break in there in between June and July. And those will, topics are agriculture, economic development, and housing. So those are going to feed in, those recommendations to come out of those work groups will feed into the master plan. So we'll have results hopefully in early fall for that. Do you guys have any questions?
I have one in reference to housing. Do you have sort of a tenor of where that conversation is going, or what the county thinks in reference to housing? Like, what's the where's the agenda headed with that?
Yeah, so we just wrapped up a housing study in, I think it was the fall. It's probably while I was on maternity leave. But I can send that to you. The work group, yeah, is going to be pretty much based off of taking those recommendations and moving forward.
And is it to see any sort of shift, because we're seeing higher density in the southern portion of the county versus the northern portion of the county, and sort of any recommendations along those lines, or we'll hear more about it as we get into it?
Yeah, I what's to come out of this work group will be a surprise to me. I'm actually leading the ag work group, so.
Okay.
But I can send you, I think we've got an outline of the draft agendas and what's to be discussed. And then I can send you the final report, or the housing study report that was wrapped up in the fall. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Rep. Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move the first item on the agenda to the end of it so that we can expedite everybody else's applications and issues here. So we're moving on to the second item, which is to consider, discuss, or act on Enclave and Parkside preliminary plan and pattern book review and approval. And Kevin provided us with a staff report. And Kevin, if you just want to quickly summarize where we stand with that.
Yeah. And just real quick on the agenda, it should say Enclave at Parkside, not Enclave and Parkside, so that was a typo, so apologies. But so we got the Enclave at Parkside. Applicants are requesting approval of their preliminary subdivision plan as well as their pattern book. So we know that, again, it's the three-step approval process, the concept, preliminary and final. So since concept plan, they've just been working their way through town and county review processes. They finally got that preliminary stormwater approval, so we felt like now was the good time to bring them back to offer our town preliminary plan approval. So if you remember back to October 2024, the applicants came and provided an update on where they were at with the plan. At that time, Planning Commission said the plan looked good and didn't have any concerns or comments. Regarding the pattern book, so at this stage too, we also have to approve the pattern book as part of that preliminary plan phase. The pattern books just cover the overall design of the development. So they presented that pattern book a little bit further back, but February 2024 we discussed that, and again at that time there weren't any concerns with the pattern book as it was presented. So again, we know that 47 new townhouse units and the layout of the residential lots, open space, roads, parking, sidewalks, all that, none of it's changed really since October of 2024. So what we're looking at today is almost identical, at least from what we're considering, to what it was in October. Staff doesn't have any remaining comments, and they've received all necessary approvals from relevant county agencies at this point. And then for the pattern book, so it mentions that the goal of this development was just to more or less be a second phase of the Parkside community. So to that end, they basically created this pattern book to mimic all the design principles and all the materials that were used for Parkside, which is some very minor differences to allow for slightly larger units. But again, all staff and planning commission comments seem to be adequately addressed during that February 2024 meeting. So we're just asking planning commission to discuss the preliminary plan as well as the pattern book and vote on the approval of both. Again, staff has no outstanding concerns with either and recommends approval of both of each one as presented.
Great. Anybody have any questions for the applicants?
I had one. So, and I might have missed it in the review, but we had talked about sort of the view shed from when you're going up 32 and when you're going down 32 and what you would actually see. And I'm not getting a visual of it quite yet. And I don't know if you have any more, it might be too early, but I don't know if you have any more thoughts or concepts in reference to what that would look like what you would see. Would you see like a whole structure? Would you see the roof? Would you see nothing? I don't know if you have a sense of it yet.
I mean, we're still working out the grading as we put together the final plan in anticipation of getting this preliminary plan approval. But we do have a berm across that corner, not so dissimilar than what you see at Raincliff when you go by Raincliff. We are fronting our units outward in the same way that we did at Parkside at Warfield. So to the extent that you do see any units in any of the view sheds along that area, you are going to see front doors and kind of what we think of as the more aesthetically pleasing side of the unit. But we very much want to from noise and those sorts of things for the nicety of the neighborhood, provide that berm, take that area and use it for whatever reforestation and additional landscaping that we need along that corridor as well. When you get more down the property on the side, I'd say something similar. Those houses that on the side do have that same frontage idea that we're talking about, but the view sheds are different when you get to the side versus what's there kind of up at the top corner.
Good. In terms of the stormwater management agreement that you finally managed to come to with the county, is there anything significantly different from what we were shown?
No, not at all. We'll blend the projects here a little bit. I don't know if you've been out to Parkside at Warfield here. In the last handful of weeks, we've been constructing around that playground area, those bioretentions there at the bottom. Not completely done. I think we were starting this year out hoping to hit the ground running, and then it got really, really cold around here. and that kind of kept us from getting our concrete work done. Now the concrete work's done, and now there's some additional things that need to happen there. But we got the final approval on that stormwater management plan for Parkside, but once we finish the facility, we will then go through the as-built process and survey everything out there and come up with the exact number that we need to be making sure that we're compensating for, and we have plenty of cushion between those two numbers, between what we have planned at the preliminary plan level for Enclave to be able to more than adequately provide that volume and quantity and quality treatment.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yep, great.
Anything else? Any other questions or issues? No? In which case, I'm going to put a motion together. I move that we approve the Enclave at Parkside preliminary plan and pattern book, and so that the applicant can move forward with a final subdivision plan phase.
I'll second.
Seconded, all in favour?
Aye.
Good to go. Good luck with it.
Yes.
Thanks so much. We'll
See you for
start
the
working
final
on final
approval.
plans and see you guys again at some point.
Good luck.
So our next item on the agenda is the introduction of a building addition for the French twist. And again, Kevin provided us with a staff report, but if you want to summarise that for us real quick so we're all on the same page.
Yeah, so again, this is just meant as an introduction to the project to make sure, so the applicant knows that they can make sure it's a viable project before they move on to the site plan phase. But they've submitted some architectural drawings for an addition to the rear of the French Twist building, which is at 732 Oklahoma Avenue. It's a 27 by 16 square foot addition to allow for some more kitchen space and seating on the first floor, as well as a second floor terrace with a secondary exit and a stairway as well, so they can accommodate some more patrons up there. So a few things to note, that it is going to extend into the parking area in the rear of the structure. We don't know for sure how many of the spaces are going to be taken up, just because we don't have the site plan. We anticipate it will probably be all 6 spots are going to be eliminated. We're also not sure what the resulting setbacks will be, but the plat does note that in 2012, the Sykesville BZA, Board of Zoning Appeals, did approve a waiver from all parking requirements associated with that structure, and also reduced all setback requirements to 0 feet as well. So just important to keep that in mind as we move through this. The only real thing that I noticed from what was provided, the property plat does show that the addition as it currently exists would sit on top of a utility easement. It serves some access to some electrical conduit. It serves a utility pole behind the structure, so any site plan will just have to show the relocation of that easement so that it can remain accessible. But again, it's just an introduction to the project here. It doesn't require the action from the Planning Commission. We do have a representative from the project. If the Planning Commission has any questions or any feedback before they jump into moving on to the actual site plan process.
The only real question I have at this point is really for town staff as much as anything else. But we're going to lose 6 parking spots, which obviously is an issue, but it may be an inevitability. But in terms of parking spots, how many parking spots are we losing? Would we lose if the addition to the Sykesville Station building is approved? And are there any parking spots being lost in terms of the improvements that are being done to that lot there? What would be the total?
There are, if you don't mind, I'll take this.
Yeah, you can just.
So when we redesigned that parking lot, there were, I believe, a total of 4 spaces that we were losing, and then I think there were 4 more with the extension of the Sykesville Station building. So a total of 8 already in that lot were going to go away.
And another 6 makes 14.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, it is an area that it does sit on the property that's associated with that building, and in the summer, they often block those off and use them for bistro seating.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Gotcha.
so.
Okay, to bring that up.
Yeah, the only point is that I wanted to bring up is with the new streetscape, we were going to lose all 6 parking spots. And I have all brick pavers in there. That's what really got us motivated on this, because we're thinking, well, Ellen's been wanting to enlarge this because she's run out of space.
Yep.
And there's no way I'm going to have the town spend all that money, put all brick pavers in, and then a year later say, oh, by the way, we're going to make an addition on there. It doesn't make any sense. So we said, let's push our envelope a little bit forward. Go ahead and get this in front of you all, get you in front of the Historical Commission. And this is just a preliminary, like we said. We quite honestly wasn't going to put in all the site plan, the architect, the stamped engineer drawings. If you all come back and say, this isn't going to work, there's no sense in doing it.
Another question for the town then, was this factored into sort of the cost reductions that we talked about to get the project down, or would this be in addition to that and provide a buffer for funding?
No, we had already removed. So the area where the addition is going to be, we had already taken that out of
Okay.
the potential streetscape. So,
Very good.
because again, anticipation of the extension of the building.
Yeah. So it's good that there's already coordination
Yes.
there
Yes.
that was happening. I'm not meaning for it to come across any other way than that, but
No,
that's
I
good.
totally agree. There's
Yeah.
no sense in building it and rebuilding it.
That's right.
So the biggest thing is just kind of pick your brains, and if there's no problems, then we'll go ahead and formally get this thing rolling, and we're going to meet the historical in 2 weeks, and then we'll go.
I heard Kevin say that we could put like chairs or something up top with tables. Is that the
What we're
thought?
going to do is we're going to take the 2 windows that are existing now, take them out, at least one of them, put a door at the same grade, so you'll be able to go upstairs, have a rear entrance. Her problem is right now, people walk in that front door and you can't get out.
Yeah.
If it's a Saturday or Sunday, me included, more people walk away than they do because it just takes so long. So you're going to be able to walk in the existing front door, walk to the left, have another POS station, get your coffee. If you want a crepe, you walk to the right. If you want just coffee, then you'll be able to walk out a back door there that goes out to the kitchen. A lot more conducive for her business.
Yeah, it makes sense for the business.
Yeah.
Absolutely does, yeah.
We basically personally, I really want to keep her in town, and she's outgrowing the spot.
Indeed, yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
Any other questions or issues at this time? No?
No.
No? I wish you luck with it
Yeah,
again. We'll look
good
forward
luck.
to seeing the drawings as they
We'll be back.
come back.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Fred. Thank you.
Fred.
And we are now at the last, almost last action. Consider, discuss, act on site plan review and approval for the Schoolhouse Road Apartments accessory structure. And again, we've actually already had some input on that. So again, Kevin, if you could just fill us in again real quickly.
Yeah, so quickly, again, the applicants are asking for approval of their site plan for their accessory building as well as a few various other site improvements. So the plan shows an accessory building, an improved parking area, new playgrounds and pedestrian improvements, as well as ADA access to several units. Like Phil said, this plan was introduced to us in February 2025. At that time, the commission didn't offer any additional concerns or comments. I do want to note the project does still require a few final approvals from the county, but I've talked to all those representatives from all those agencies, and there's no concerns that the layout of this plan is going to change for them to meet those requirements. We just wanted to make sure we weren't going to hold them up. So again, as we know, it's the two-story accessory building it's allowable as a accessory use to the primary residential and open space uses. It conforms to all height and setback requirements of the R10,000 district. For the updated parking area, the applicants explained that the existing number of standard parking spaces is going to remain the same across the entire site once all this is done, and then there will also be a net gain of one ADA accessible space. And then again, just some sidewalks and ADA improvements to improve connectivity and make the community better suited for residents of all physical ability levels. One thing I did want to point out that I noticed, I did a lot of back and forth with the applicant, with their engineer, about fine-tuning the site plan. I did notice one last labeling error for the speed humps that I just wanted to note that labeling error should be fixed as a condition of approval, but very, very minor. So with that, we're just asking Planning Commission to review and vote on approval of this site plan. And again, staff does recommend approval of the plan with the condition that any labeling errors be corrected.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask the applicants? Anything else has come up? No. No, I don't think so. Well, in which case, we're moving through this as quickly as we can. I move that we approve the site plan for the Schoolhouse Road Apartments accessory building and related site improvements, conditional on all county approvals being obtained, and that any label errors are corrected. Do I have a seconder? Brandon, all in favour?
Aye.
Good to go. Good luck with it, guys.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys. Talk to you soon.
We're now on to town updates. That was a pretty swift.
Yeah, that was home run there.
Well
done, boss.
Oh, sorry, got the BTA. I'm sorry, I'm not quite done yet. I'm missing something up. So we need to act on ratification of the Parcel B recommendation to the Board of Zoning Appeals. I know that Karen sent out a letter to everybody, so everybody had a chance to read it and make comments thereon. Is there anything else that anyone wants to bring up at this particular point about the letter? Any comments or issues? No? Then in which case, I move that we approve the written recommendations of the Board of Appeals on the conditional use of an assisted living facility at Parcel B of the Warfield property. Seconder? Second. Ken? All in favour?
Aye.
Good to go. Excellent. So that's all the difficult business out of the way. Wasn't too difficult, was it?
Sure looked like a longer agenda.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Most of it's been talked about before. Though.
Yeah, so I just would like to
Yes.
bring them to you guys before
Yeah.
it's time for approval.
Yeah, the work was
Yeah.
done.
Approvals can be nice and easy.
Town updates.
Yeah, I just have a few quick things. So the Board of Zoning Appeals hearing is scheduled for April 29th. It's Tuesday evening. So just FYI, keep an eye out for that. Because if they do approve the use, then we will have to do some site plan review and things like that once that development starts. So that is later this month. We did receive some building plans as well as a site plan for the station building. So that is gonna be moving forward. They should be submitting to the county today or any day now to go through the county reviews.
That's good
So
news.
it'll be a similar process to the Squelch Road site plan that we just approved. So we'll look at it, the county will do some reviews, and then we'll bring it to you guys when it feels appropriate. But we do have something, so it's happening.
Good.
And then if Joe wants to touch on this a little bit more too, but as you've seen, the South End Streetscape project is getting going. So working on phase 1 right now, which is sort of Baldwin Drive from Main Street to Oklahoma and the station parking lot. And hopefully that's going to be finished by May, by the end of this month. I think is the idea.
Farmers market.
Farmers market.
Middle of May.
Middle of May. Okay. So it's a farmers market. I haven't done it before farmers market, at least for that phase, but that's moving and that's going to be a really good project. So.
In terms of the committee that was meeting on the town code updates, is there any movement on that? Are they reconvening?
We will be reconvening that committee soon. We're still working through some of the subdivision regulations, making sure we have the processes somewhat right before we actually start sharing it with other people and confuse you all.
Confused.
All right, well, good. And the Enclave of Parkside, there needs to be a public hearing before is that public hearing before the final approval?
We held the public hearing on that during the preliminary plan phase. I think it was back in last February. So if you recall, it was open during a Zoom meeting because there was some severe weather that night. So we switched the meeting to Zoom.
Yes, that's right.
And then kept that public hearing open, I think for like 3 or 4 months because we forgot to close it. So it was a very long public hearing. Actually. But yeah, no, and we don't do that.
So we're all good.
So we're all good in terms
Just
of,
come back to final approval.
that's right, yeah. So.
Okay, good. Any other issues? Anything else anyone wants
I
to
love
bring up?
driving up and down the street.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Springfield? Oh,
Nice, nice
What,
day.
you've got to watch your speed though.
So does everyone-
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, everyone else-
Yeah. Well, it goes
Well, we've been
without
getting speeding reports already.
saying. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
It's not from you, but everyone else.
All right, that being the case, I move that we adjourn. Seconded.
Okay.
Brandon again. All in favour?
Hi.
Aye, we're good to go. And that was a pretty good 20 minutes work.
Yeah, that worked.